where have you been? What did you see? What did you hear? Who did you meet? The questions ask, the answers repeat, like the first star over the mountains, like the full moon over the sea, like the morning sun in the morning haze, like the different shades of the light I see. I was on a mountain passage in a field on the divide. Flocks of clouds race close beside me. Silver lakes gleamed at my side. To the east, the mountains misted all along the timberline. In the air, 5 hawks were chasing through a rainbow growing in the sky. It was like the first star over the mountains, like the full moon over the sea, like the morning sun in the morning haze, like the different shades of the light I sing, of the light I sing. I met her on the 1st December, first Christmas that I spent in Denver, the first Christmas she had not gone back home. From the street she looked familiar, but from the door she looked a stranger. Her heart had flown 1,000 miles back home. I said, don't be sad, look to the west, the mountains shine, you are their guest. Don't be sad, look to the east, the sun will bring you happiness and peace. These things you speak, well, I know to be true. She said, perhaps I could convince you of just what has happened to my heart and my soul. It must be like a first-time sailor's questioning his new adventure. when distance is the only thought that he knows. I said, don't be sad, this time will pass, for truth is truth, sadness can't last. Just speak to me and hold me tight, I will make a home with you tonight. Don't be sad, this time will pass, for truth is truth, sadness can't last. Don't be sad, look to the east, the sun will bring you happiness and peace. When I was a young man, I traveled to see North California's majestic red trees. But I was born too late to be young enough to see what it looked like before a chainsaw struck. Some forests survived there, protected by laws, but more were still numbered, and more still will fall. The laws try to cover what man cannot hide, that he wants to bring nature down to his size. Did you hear someone say, if you've seen one redwood, you've seen them all? But I've never seen a man who could stand as tall. And if you've seen one man, I guess you've seen them all. Do we have to prove that we stand so small? Where's the natural law? Then I took a job on a freighter going south, and I took to keeping the starry night watch. The spirits of water came friends unto me. They always would ask why men hated the sea. The ghost of a blue whale was saddest to me. He cried, oh my brother, I've swum all the seas to find me a mate so my race would live on. But your race has killed them, I was the last one. Did you hear someone say, if you've seen one redwood, you've seen them all? But I've never seen a man who could stand as tall. And if you've seen one man, I guess you've seen them all. Do we have to prove that we stand so small? Where's the natural law? And now I'm a wanderer without any home. People upset me, so I live alone. I try to assemble what man has undone. I feel like that blue whale without an ocean. I was walking down the street one week. My eyes saw a movie marquee. Movie playing there was called For Rent. The title was the kind that appealed to me, and there was no one in the booth, so I assumed it was free. There was no one selling popcorn either. Well, I could tell the movie hadn't started yet, and there were plenty of good seats 'cause there weren't no audience. So I sat way back in the corner, and I kept thinking that I knew what I was doing, and it always turns out I'm most serious when I'm fooling. So I put on my sunglasses, sitting in a dark corner thinking dark thoughts, understanding little more than what I got, not knowing why and asking why not. I'm just like a leopard, I can't change my spots, dark spots. Well, I was driving by the mobile home sales. They were selling trailers for heaven and hell. They had assumptions and repossessions. The lot was lit by 1,000 light bulbs, and 15 salesmen salivated on my car, saying, "Listen, brother, have we got a deal for you, brother?" Well, I didn't need to get to heaven that fast, so I peeled out with a 3-inch patch, but I turned the wrong way on a one-way street. Oh, Lord. I quick slammed the brakes, I doused my lights, I ducked into an alley, I was out of sight. Caught my breath beside a lot of trash barrels. Sitting in a dark alley thinking dark thoughts, understanding little more than what I got, not knowing why and asking why not. I'm just like a leopard, I can't change my spots, dark spots. Country was the radio that called to me. I found a back way where the roads were empty. Oh, I drove far from that big city, where the sky was dark, the stars were bright. In the middle of night was a traffic light. As soon as I got to it, it turned red, very red. Oh, a lot more red. And quiet as the night was at 3 o'clock, sitting in the glare of that red watchdog. Well, I got my pen and my notebook ready, 'cause I kept thinking I knew what I was doing. It always turns out I'm most serious when I'm fooling. So I put on my sunglasses again, sitting in a dark corner thinking dark thoughts, understanding little more than what I got, not knowing why and asking why not. I'm just like a leopard with a D, I can't change my spots. A dark sitting in a dark corner thinking dark thoughts, understanding little more than what I got, not knowing why and asking why not. I'm just like a leopard, I can't change my spots, dark spots. Driving out of Oregon on a journey just begun, out across Nevada and Utah plains. A band of pilgrims sings a song, happy they all came along for a chance to really fly away. One, he says, is 43, left his paycheck in Eugene, never had the chance to live his dreams. And one is 23, she says, left her child with a friend, believing more in things she couldn't see. And one is silent all the way, he gave all that he had away. He searches for the Rocky Mountain peaks. And when at last they come to view, he says to them, we've come to you for the promised passage that we seek. Waiting for the Galaxy Express, shining in the hills around Fruita, waiting for their lives' deliverance, flying to the mountains of Fruita. Well, here they reach the first planned stop, rendezvous, and then drive on west to east across Nebraska lines. On the terms they've all agreed to be possessed and then released, changing like a worm to a butterfly. 1 week they seem to disappear, sending letters back full of cheer, leaving every worldly good behind, and leaving all the ridicule and shaking heads and broken rules, leaving all the world they knew behind. Waiting for the Galaxy Express, shining in the hills around Fruita, waiting for their lives' deliverance, flying to the mountains of Fruita.
One morning, two lovers found what they were looking for. It was exactly what they were hoping for. In one mountain, two climbers saw what they were searching for. It was a light that they knew they waited for. And as the sun moved directly over me, and the wind blew through some dead old leaves, I heard fall in love, 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 oh, fall in love. One ballroom, two dancers felt the souls dancing inside. It was a dance they had dreamed about at night. And one river It was a song that is freedom deep inside. And as the sun moved directly over me, yeah, and the wind blew through some dead old leaves, I heard fall in love, 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 oh, fall in love. As the sun moved directly over me, yeah, and the wind blew through some dead old leaves, I heard fall in love, 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 ooh.
Seaside, I was chased by the morning tide back up to the black roadway. Dust grew on my shoulder and my truck looked 10 years older. Rain was promised for the day. How long had I been wandering, driving and imagining a place to tie this dangling life? The beach that I had slept upon was covered by the ocean, and the ocean whispered to my eyes, if you're a traveler with one more road to travel, with an eye out for a place to settle down, don't stop here to wash your brow more than an hour, 'cause only travelers ever stay much on this ground. Yes, only travelers ever stay much in this town. Wind made me drive south past the next hilltop. I saw a town below, down past some dead farms and down the main boulevard. I drove, but I was still alone. Boards closed, buildings and warnings against trespassing, and my engine was the only sound. From the red church tower, the clock still kept the hour, and it rang this sadness all around. If you're a traveler with one more road to travel, with an eye out for a place to settle down, don't stop here to wash your brow more than an hour, 'cause only travelers ever stay much on this ground. Yes, only travelers ever stay much in this town. day started drizzling, rain was just a feeling. Clouds had chilled each day. There was no sense to drive on, but there was no sense to stay on, and I drove much better than I stayed. Oh, the road was glistening, and my truck rolled on, or whistling, with water streaking from its sides. And as if my thoughts weren't thick enough, the miles on the dash turned up 5 zeros, pushing past 5 nines. If you're a traveler with one more road to travel, with an eye out for a place to settle down, don't stop here to wash your brow more than an hour, 'cause only travelers ever stay much on this ground. Yes, only travelers ever stay much in this town. Yes, only travelers ever stay much on this ground. Only travelers ever stay much on this ground.
This next song is about a party that I went to in Aurora. Oh, no, it was Englewood. No, it was, what's that one out there? Arvada, that was it. Anyhow, this is a true story, and it's affectionately titled just simply The Party. Very simply. Well, I went to a party last week from an invitation given me in the street. Party turned out to be a crowded affair with 100 different shampoo smells in the air and all different kinds of people around. There was women in suits, men dressed like clowns, artists in their hats, yes, hipsters with their spoons. 27.7% were acceptable blacks, yes, some were thin, some were fat. Well, the rest were from outer space. Well, I sashayed around, I fit right in, I kind of looked a little like all of them. Well, pretty soon I was lassoed and chit-chat with a gorgeous redhead and a young black and a minister's son and a baker and a guard from the Los Angeles Lakers, talking about the dangerous population. They asked me what I thought about the situation. Well, I said the answer is obvious to me. Just turn all the traffic lights green. For a week, shit, wipe out millions. Well, the baker looked at me like I was nuts with squirrels and addicts and toys out to lunch. So I started thinking about splitting till the baker asked me what I did for a living. So I told him that I wrote trash and took bribes to compliment people and tell lies, and that parties were excellent places to lie about ideas and faces. And as a matter of fact, Mr. Baker, I think your face has courage, wisdom, masculine grace. So I think your chocolate eclairs are heavenly, and as a person, well, you're just charming. That's all right, you can pay me after the party. Well, that baker grabbed me by the collar. You weirdo wacko, he hollered. But the Laker stepped in saying, don't be a fool. Well, this dude is cool. And this is just jive, you gotta be loose. What you need, Mr. Baker, some more of this juice. So I handed him a drink, handed him a joint. Baker still missed the point. He mangled the joint, he burned his hand, he spilled his drink, he was out of hand. He lunged at me and I sidestepped him. He ran into a wall with a Paul Clay print. That's K-L-E-E print. Head on, knocked down, knocked out on the floor. I called it. Man eats breakfast, contemplating Linner and Dunch by the bathroom door. Well, this group of critics all loved it, called it a masterpiece. Something about a classic portrayal of a man who had to be fleeced. The minister's son was most furious to think the baker thought I was serious. He said, shit, no one's serious nowadays. Especially at these kind of parties, these kind of situations. The most untogether baker, I'm sure he was a Republican. Damn, that joint he mangled was Colombian. Well, I said there ain't no need to worry at all. I got some stuff here from Panama. Yes, I do. So I passed it around in our own little corner until the redhead said seriously she was an informer. I started laughing as sort of a cue, but when no one joined in, I thought it was true, and I saw myself behind prison cells. I looked at the redhead, looked at the baker on the floor, looked at the redhead, looked at the minister's son, I looked at the redhead, looked at the laker, I looked at the redhead. I smiled very sweetly. I said, honey, what the hell? We all got to earn a living, and I have no misgivings. Things been going pretty good, and besides, all you people going to be in jail too. I started laughing again, and pretty soon everybody joined in. The redhead looked at me. She said, well, I'm glad. Yes, I'm very glad that you don't take things so seriously. She put her hand on my nose. Well, then the minister's son made a request that we all come with him and be guests of the St. Harmonium's inspired word and holy truths of the heavenly cosmos in 17th and 11th and 4th century Saints Church. So we hopped in his car, we drove on down, we found another party going on, and all different kinds of people around. There was women in boots, men in suits. 33.3% were acceptable Lutherans. 29.7% were acceptable Episcopalians, 29 Methodists, there were 15 Presbyterians, 14 Roman Catholics, 13 Jews, 12 Southern Baptists, 11 Northern Baptists, 10 Unitarians, 9 Buddhists, 8 Church of Christists, 7 Seventh-day Adventists singing, 6 Taoists, 4 Hare Krishnas, and 2 1/4 agnostics. Well, I said to the redhead, looks like I've been here before. She said, yes, this looks like a total bore, and I can only take 3 or 4 parties like this a year. 2 in one night is much more than I can bear, and the song is getting awful long, don't you think? I said, yes. I smiled very sweetly. I said, yes. I smiled very sweetly. I said, yes. Well, why then? Why don't you and I religiously sneak out of here? So we're headed on out to a private celebration. The rest I leave to your most vivid imagination. Thank you. We'll be back.
I passed along an endless cliff from north to south by starry night, and not a port appeared to me. From north to south I sailed all night, and in the morn the cliff was lined with prison men, their bodies tied, and piling rocks up to the sky. From north to south, from noon to night, and piling rocks up to the sky. From north to south, from noon to night. I travel in an open boat, my life half serious, half a joke. The sun, he always shines for me. Death sits to the left of me. I hold my arms out for a sail. The winds pick up, they never fail to guide me in the spirit flow. I travel in an open boat. From that land I traveled on to Capricorn, south latitude, expecting waters sweet and warm at Capricorn, west longitude. But at the line the sea was held in frozen waves. Its waters stood like crumbling tombstones I beheld in Washington, west latitude. Like crumbling tombstones I beheld in Washington, west attitude. Sailing west, I passed to see a desert land of charcoal sands. The air was thick and hot to breathe. A desert land, chaos commands. Fires danced and crackled high, and voices screamed from deep inland. Strangling vapors filled the sky. A desert land, it was a black wasteland. Strangling vapors filled the sky. A desert land, it was a devil's hand. But I travel in an open boat, my life half serious, half a joke. The sun, he always shines for me. Death sits to the left of me. I hold my arms out for a sail. The winds pick up, oh, they never fail to guide me in the spirit flow. I travel in an open boat. Back on the current, sailing north, I sailed and sailed that awesome sea, and 9 gray whales helped keep my course. We sailed and sailed in company, and reaching waters quite remote, 3 dolphins sang a song to me. Just keep a strong and lightweight coat, travel in an open boat. Just keep a strong and lightweight coat, travel in an open boat. Just keep a strong and lightweight coat, travel in an open boat. Just keep a strong and lightweight coat, travel in an open boat. Just keep a strong and lightweight coat, travel in an open boat. Just keep a strong and lightweight coat, travel in an open boat. Just keep a strong and lightweight coat, travel in an open boat. Just keep a strong and lightweight